In this video we'll be looking at configuring the XNC driver, in particular the Mbus driver for the IQ4, where to find the driver, how to configure it, how to set it up, how to use it, and also how you can use it for future reference as well, with the idea of saving a huge amount of time and not having to do a new project each time. So we'll start in the usual way. There's nothing too drastic to start with. We'll create a new project. Call it a name. Here we go. So here we can see the project that's being built already. So let me just show you where to find the drivers in the first place. So here you can see the usual libraries that we have. You've got your blocks up here and your solutions here. Now the solution obviously is the solution in its entirety, and the ones we're after are the XNC drivers for the IQ4. If we expand that, you'll see that there's Mbus and Modbus. For this particular one we're after the Mbus, so we'll select that and we'll say that we want this particular one here, the 0.1. I'll select this one because it's the most popular one that we have experience with. So we'll give it a LAN and device address. And what we do here is we will ask you to set up some user modules in your strategy. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm not going to be using this in a controller or on a site, so for the sake of this demonstration I won't bother with those. So let me just show you how this is looking. So you've got your usual configuration here. We've got your LAN and we have a controller. And what we do is we add a strategy in there for you. Now the point of this is to save you time. You may not need all of these sensors. You may only need a dozen or so. So the idea is that you can configure the sensors that you need and then delete the ones that you don't need, because that's the quicker way to do it. So that's what we've done here. So in the strategy itself there's a little summary of what we've got here. And then you can see that this is the sensors that I was talking about. We've also set up some plots for you just to save you the bother, but again you can delete those if you don't need them. So the part we're interested in for this demonstration is the XNC interface module, and you can find that down here. And here you can see that we've set up most of the things already. This is the whole point of the driver, that we don't have to do a lot of configuration. So this is the part that we have a particular interest in, and this may not look too clever in the first place, but I'll just explain what these parameters are, and it will make a lot more sense to you. So with anything we have to set up the communications. So we have a baud rate here. Now the baud rate will depend on what device you're using. The devices that I've chosen are some meters. That just so happens it's the meters that we sell, the Mbus meters. So the baud rate itself, you're going to need to find the data sheet. So this is our data sheet for this particular meter, as you can see. And down here you can see we have the technical data, and in particular the baud rate. So these are the baud rates that it can do. The important thing here is the transmission rate is automatically detected. So what I will do is leave the baud rate as it comes by default, because the meters will detect that particular baud rate. Now these values here, the parity, the serial and the stop bits, they are the Mbus standard, so you don't need to change those. Here we're using the serial port on the RS232 port on the controller itself. If I'm using that, it needs to be number 3. You can see 3 relates to the RS232. The value of 2 equals the RS485. So I'm using the RS232, so that value remains at 3. Now the timeout value here, this is how long this driver will wait for a response from a meter. So if the meter has gone offline for whatever reason, it will wait 3 seconds here before it gives up. I think I'd rather wait a bit longer, so if I do 5,000 milliseconds, that's 5 seconds. And here this relates to the same issue. So if the meter has gone offline, this driver will wait 5 seconds before stopping, and it will try 3 times before it gives up entirely. So this value here, this is the pause between meter cycle reading, and basically what this means is that this is the amount of time it will wait from reading the last value in a meter before it moves on to the next meter. So I would like this to be 3 seconds, so we go 3000 milliseconds. So already we've configured the communications on this one and a slight behavior as well. Now, the next bit is the first store number, and the next field after that is the last store number. And now what this means is this is where you put in your addresses for your meters. So for this instance, I've got, say, 4 meters on this Mbus network. And if you scroll down here, it'll be easy for me to actually show you this. You can see here that this is the first entry for the meter secondary address. Now the secondary address is a reference to the address that's actually written on the device. On these meters it's written on the front of it, and it should be an 8-digit number. So as I said, I've got 4 meters here, so I will enter in the addresses of these 4 meters. So the first one, again, just to reiterate, I have read these serial numbers off of the meters themselves. And so I also said they have to be 8 digits. Now the last meter I have is only a 3-digit number, so you have to make up those 8 digits with zeros. So there you go. So that is the secondary addresses of those devices, and there's 4 of them, and it starts at 32, store number 32. So if we go back up to where it's asking us for our first meter, first store number for meter secondary address, that was 32. I've got 4 meters, so the last one will be 35. This parameter here, the size of output array, this is asking us how many values we want from that meter. And let's say, for example, that I'd like 20 values. So what it'll do, it will ask for 20 values from that device, in this case a meter. It will populate those sensors, the first 20 sensors, and then the 21st sensor will be the next meter. If there's only say 5 values from that meter, it will display those first 5 values, and the next 15 values will just be zeros until it gets to 21 again, and then it will read the next 20 values. And if it's the same meter, it will just be 5 again. If there's more than 20, it will just read the first 20 and ignore the rest that come back after that. So you need to know what you're looking for. So just for this example, I'll just put in 20 in there. This part here, this is the label and unit handled by the driver option. Basically, let me just expand this a bit. You've got a yes or no option here. What this is asking is that Mbus can support label and units, and if you would like this driver to read the units and the labels from the device, you can select 1, the value of 1 here, and it will read those. If you just want a value returned without the label or without the units, you type that as 0. So I would like to have the units and the labels as well. So that is everything configured. All these are just here by default. You don't need to do anything from there, and here's our addresses. So that's everything. So if we click OK on there, we can now download this to our controller, and we're ready to go. Now, as I mentioned at the start of this video, there is an option here that you can save yourself a huge amount of time. Let's supposing that you have this same configuration in the same building on the floor below. So rather than configuring that again, and let's also assume that you've deleted the sensors that you don't need there. So this strategy is exactly how you want it, and the XNC has been configured correctly with the meters that you have. And you have that same configuration on the next floor down on your building. What you can do is you can right click on your controller and copy this to a solution. So what you can do here is a solution name. We'll call it I don't know, demo. I'm going to give it test and then demo again in there. Now when you go back to your strategy library, you can see here that this is what we've created, and this is the demo branch that we created, and this is the actual finished strategy. So the next time you have your IQ4 with your 4 meters in this case, and you've deleted all the sensors that you don't need, you can just drag this onto the blank space instead, and everything will be ready to go. So you're self-delivering straight away. There is documentation on this. There's Dr. T that also tells you how to configure this, and there's the normal support channels. So I really hope this has been helpful, and good luck.